Could Harry Maguire be on his way to Tottenham this summer? Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. Yes, what caught my eye yesterday was the news surrounding Harry Maguire and that he may have emerged as a potential transfer target of Tottenham Hotspur. The Manchester United centre-back has obviously found it difficult, especially this season under Eric Ten Hag, to really cement his position again as the starting centre-back in this Manchester United side. And whilst both he and Manchester United are seemingly exploring their options for the England centre-back, it has seemingly emerged that Tottenham could be very much interested in taking him off Manchester United's hands this summer. We're going to be talking more about Maguire in this video. We're going to be talking about Tottenham and Manchester United as well. But before we go any further, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new or want to see more content like this. Both things are always and forever greatly appreciated. And I also encourage you as well to get involved in the comment section. I'm sure you have a lot of interesting thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it on this potential news story that will make for interesting and great reading down below in the comment section. So I do encourage you to get involved down there and interact with me a little bit. Otherwise, let's get on with the video. Let's talk Harry Maguire, let's talk Tottenham, let's talk Manchester United. Look, yesterday, of course, was a big day for Tottenham. They finally appointed their newest and latest manager in Ange Postecoglou. He signed a 4-year deal, signed on the dotted line. That is done, dusted, official and confirmed. And then what happened in the aftermath of this is that the Daily Mail ran a story on the potential of Harry Maguire emerging as a top transfer target for Spurs. In that same article, it did say that there may be a massive clear-out at Spurs, and other reports are seemingly suggesting that Postecoglou's taken a shine to Maguire, whilst other reports are seemingly suggesting that England teammate Harry Kane has recommended the signing to Tottenham as well. Now, we know that obviously Tottenham are going to want to try and do everything they can to keep Harry Kane happy and to try and keep him at the club, despite obviously them not winning trophies. So it would make sense that Tottenham would kind of go out of their way to try and keep their talisman happy and to try and keep him at the club. Obviously, the Kane subject is probably another video for another day. There's a lot to talk about there in terms of where his future may lie. He could be going the opposite direction to Maguire in terms of him going to Manchester United. He could be going to Real Madrid. He's emerged as the top transfer target to Madrid. There's a lot there to unpack and to kind of look at and think about with Harry Kane. That, again, like I say, might be a better subject for another day. Whether or not there's any truth to the rumours and whispers that he's allegedly recommended Harry Maguire to Spurs, that's another debate for another day. If I'm looking at it from my point of view, I'm saying that he wants to kind of finish off his own club by bringing Maguire, because I would not recommend Maguire to a lot of teams. There are certain teams that play a certain style that I think he'd be great for. Spurs, not necessarily one of them. But allegedly, he is a target of Spurs, whether that is through Postecoglou taking a shine to him, or whether that's through Kane's recommendation. There were reports yesterday stating that he is on he's on Spurs' radar, and fair enough. From a United point of view, we know that they've been trying to get rid of him. We know that they've been trying to explore different options to try and move him on. He clearly doesn't fit in with Eric Ten Hag's way of playing. He clearly has struggled in this squad for a number of years now. Not just this past season under Eric Ten Hag, but for a number of years he's struggled. The fans are on his back. The fans want him seemingly moved on as well. He doesn't fit in with Ten Hag's style of play. He's been used as a backup player for the majority of this season behind the likes of Rafael Varane and Lisandro Martinez. And whenever he's had the opportunity to try and force his way into Ten Hag's plans, change Ten Hag's mind, force his way into the starting 11, he's not grasped the opportunity with both hands. He's continued to falter. He's continued to fail. He's continued to make mistake after mistake. And it's costing United a whole great deal, and obviously time has seemingly come to move him on, and rightfully so. I think from their point of view, moving him on whilst they have the opportunity to do so and to try and obviously reclaim some money back for him is the right and smart move to do. And I think on Maguire's case as well, reports are seemingly suggesting that he's not going to try and force a move out of United, but he will be open-minded to the opportunity of playing elsewhere, having a fresh start. And I think the fresh start will actually do him the world of good, to be honest. I think a fresh start will grant him the opportunity to maybe relax a bit more, maybe play with a little bit less pressure and a little bit less demand on his shoulders. Obviously, there'll still be high demand and high pressure on his shoulders, because that's just the nature of football wherever you go and wherever you decide to play your football. But I think there'll be less at Manchester United, considering obviously he arrived at Manchester United with a price tag. Now that obviously price tag is nothing to do with him. That's just between the two clubs, between Manchester United and Leicester, that obviously agreed on that price tag. But at the same time, fans were on his back, and he didn't necessarily help himself either in certain cases. Whether it be being outspoken in certain interviews, whether it be making poor mistakes on the football pitch, he never really took accountability for that. And making him captain seemingly added to that pressure and to that demand at Manchester United, to the point where, of course, he was faltering. And he constantly faltered time and time again at United down the years. Like I say, moving to a team like Spurs, a fresh start, new clean slate, new faces, new squad, new challenges, it might do him the world of good. It might genuinely do him the world of good. And of course, it would do him the world of good when it comes to an England level. He's still somehow getting into the England squad despite not playing regular football, but you'd have to imagine that eventually that luck might run out. That reliability that he's shown in an England shirt might eventually run out, and it might be time to kind of think about changing him for someone who is playing more regularly and is playing in their club on a more regular basis. So it could help him on an international level as well by moving clubs. The downside is that because we've seen Maguire falter and fail for a number of years, he's going to be on the back foot with fans instantaneously. Right off the bat, he'll go to a new club, and depending on that new club and how they play, he'll be on the back foot, because I think a lot of people know where his strengths are, what his weaknesses are, and what kind of squad he can fit into. I feel like at Spurs, if he is to go to Spurs, if there is legitimacy behind this potential story, he's going to have the fans on his back right off the bat. I don't imagine a lot of Spurs fans are happy about this news. I don't imagine a lot of Spurs fans are excited about the potential of Harry Maguire being in a Tottenham shirt for next season. But what we know of Postecoglou is that he likes to seemingly play a more open, a more attacking and attractive and expressive brand of football that may require him to use a high line. And what we know of Harry Maguire is that in a team that has a high line, he fails, because he doesn't have the pace. When he's asked to play in a high line, he gets a nosebleed from being up the pitch too far. And he doesn't have the reactive ability or the proactive ability to sense danger instantly. He's more reactive than proactive. And it's going to get exploited time and time again by rival teams. Opposition teams are going to easily exploit Maguire in a high line, because they've done so time and time again at Manchester United. What's to say that it's going to change at Tottenham? It's going to baffle me if that's the way that Postecoglou is going to play, and then he wants Maguire, because, like I say, in a higher line, he doesn't suit that. If he was to play a lower line, a lower block, a more counter-attacking style of play, I think Maguire would be a good fit. I think he'd be a good fit for a club like West Ham. I think West Ham would be an ideal fit. A club that plays a lower line, deeper line, and then tries to hit teams on the counter-attack using the pace and the skill and the technique of the likes of Jared Bowen, Mikel Antonio, Said Benrahma. You see what I'm saying with that kind of stuff? That's just my overall opinion on the way that he may want to play. And that may be opening a door, shall we say, to the way that Postecoglou wants to play. Maybe signing Maguire means he's going to change his ideology, his philosophy, his way of playing. And maybe he's going to go to a more counter-attacking style. Or maybe he just sees Maguire as an obtainable option as a centre-back, as a defender, as a realistic target going forward. And although he's not the ideal choice, although he's not got the skills and the attributes that he's mainly looking for in that type of player, he'll do. Because it's the kind of restrictions that Tottenham have put on his finances to maybe go, he's obtainable for the money, but he's not ideal for the squad. And that will again go down to another case of poor recruitment by Tottenham, if that is to be the case. But of course, we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves in what may or may not happen with this potential transfer story. Like I say, as far as what I'm concerned, never truly liked Maguire. Felt a little bit sorry for him in terms of some fan reaction to him, in terms of his price tag and everything. That's not his fault. But I don't think he helps himself. And that for me would be a concern as well. Sometimes he doesn't help himself in the fact that he's come out in interviews before and he's stated there's a reason why I'm being picked by the manager and people should necessarily shut up and just focus on themselves, not focus on me, that kind of thing. The constant ways that he's tried to deflect attention on other people rather than himself whenever he's made mistakes on a football pitch. Constantly making himself a clown on a football pitch with the amount of mistakes that he's made. I look back at certain games that he's played, that he's made mistakes in, that he's cost Man United games. I think you can even look back at this season's Europa League as a prime example. I know that obviously it was a night that was a bit bizarre and was just football in general, because when you look at some of the goals that Sevilla scored on both legs, they were rather fluky, they were rather fortuitous, but at the same time, the reason they got those goals mostly was because Maguire was in that back line. Maguire didn't lead by example. Maguire failed on that night, and he basically was a big part as to why United flopped in the Europa League when they were heavy favourites to go on and win that competition. He doesn't help himself. He doesn't help himself with interviews. He doesn't help himself with mistakes that he makes on the pitch. He didn't help himself when he scored that goal for England. And it was I think it was a friendly. I'm pretty sure it was a friendly. I don't remember who it was against, but it was a friendly. He scored a goal. He slid on his knees and he did that kind of celebration. As to say, where are the haters now? And like I say, he doesn't help himself. He doesn't help himself, and I do fear that because we know what he's about now, because we know the kind of player that he is. Although for him, a fresh start would be, I think, an ideal choice, a perfect choice. Maybe he has to look more abroad, because I don't think in this country fans are going to give him time to settle. I don't think a lot of fans are going to be happy if they find out their club's going to be linked with him, and I don't think Spurs fans are going to be happy with this news either. So, yeah, for me, it's a sticky one, it's a tricky one, but at the same time, I think a move away from Old Trafford will do him the world of good. I just think it has to be the perfect choice and the perfect team for him to go to. It can't be someone that plays an open and an attacking brand of football. It has to be someone that's more defensive, more stubbornly resolute, plays on their own kind of 18-yard area, and obviously plays counter-attacking football. That, for me, would see Maguire at least back to some sort of good level, because we've seen it for England time and time again. He plays for England. He plays a bit deeper, or he plays against teams that obviously are not on that good of a level, shall we say. So it does offer him the chance to obviously be a bit more calmer in those situations, play with less pressure because England are expected to win and it will happen. Plays with about 4 defenders around him, plus 2 CDMs in front of him, so he's got plenty of cover to provide for his mistakes. If he is to find a team like that plays a bit more defensively, I think it's the perfect choice. Tottenham, I don't necessarily see the perfect choice unless Postecoglou is going to be changing his style of play. Because let's face it, partnering Maguire with Christian Romero, in my opinion, is a recipe for disaster. You've got Maguire who likes to wander. Maguire who, with the ball at his feet, is hit and miss. Whether it's his passing or his dribbling, hit and miss. He's not the fastest to get back into position should he lose the ball. He's not the fastest to recover. He's not seemingly got the IQ to spot danger before it's actually happened and react before it's happened. And then you've got Romero alongside him who likes to go in for a challenge, who likes to go in for a tackle, who's a bit off the handle and a bit hot-headed. Unless he improves, because let's face it, Romero's got all the tools to make for a good defender. But his constant need to dive into challenges and this constant need to go chasing the ball kind of leaves him a bit open. I think if you partner them two together without proper discipline and without proper forethought, it's a recipe for disaster in my opinion. But that's obviously assuming that Maguire does go to Tottenham. That's obviously assuming that this potential transfer does come to fruition. In my opinion, a fresh start away from Old Trafford is perfect for Maguire, but maybe not necessarily Tottenham Hotspur. But those are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of the news that Harry Maguire may be a target for Tottenham Hotspur? Tottenham fans, what do you think? Man United fans, what do you think? Neutral or rival fans, what do you think on this potential news story? I'd love to know your thoughts, your comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, down below in the comment section, because I'm sure it'll make for interesting reading. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new or want to see more content like this. Both things are always incredibly greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video, and I'll see you and speak with you all again soon in another video.